Hey guys, it's Dan here and welcome back to round 18 of my F1 2016 career mode. Here we can see the vehicle performance comparison, and we're just behind Ferrari and just in front of Haas. We're apparently falling behind, so that's unfortunate. Mercedes have brought 2 upgrades into this weekend. Red Bull have brought 2 upgrades as well, and Haas have also brought 2 upgrades into this weekend. We're currently beating Kimi Raikkonen in the rivalry. Okay, so our qualifying goals are qualify 8th place or higher, make sure I beat my rival Kimi Raikkonen and beat my teammate Felipe Nasr. Coming to finish our lap in Q1 on the super softs, we have gone P3 behind Felipe Massa. It's the end of Q1 and we finish P8. My teammate doesn't go out this time, and of course it's the 2 Renaults at the back with Force India Manor, Toro Rosso and a Haas also going out in Q1. Next up is Q2, and hopefully we can get into the top 10, get into Q3 and have a good start from there. Cross the line in Q2 and it's P4 in between Rosberg and Ricciardo. Q2 is over and we finish the session in P5 just ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. My teammate Nasr goes out at the end of Q2 with Romain Grosjean, the 2 Spaniards Sainz and Alonso, and 2 Germans Hülkenberg and Wehrlein also out. Gone wide. Oh, that's ruined it really. Oh, sliding about. Coming to the end of our lap in Q3. Where is it going to put us? We're hitting over the curb. We've spun over the line. And it's P6. Flip's sake. So Nico Rosberg grabs pole for the US Grand Prix here in Texas by 1/10 ahead of Ricciardo, 2/10 ahead of Verstappen and 6/10 ahead of his teammate Hamilton. Vettel grabs 5th position on the grid ahead of ourselves in P6 after that spin over the line. It probably would have beaten Vettel, I think. I do not know though, maybe it would have been just tight with Vettel, who knows. We beat Raikkonen anyway, and we beat our objective of 8th place. And the 2 Williams in 8th and 9th, and Jenson Button in P10. That's your grid for the United States Grand Prix. So let's head on to the grid now. Here we are on the grid for the United States Grand Prix. As you can see at the strategy, it's 1 stop, but it's meant to be just 2 seconds quicker than the low tire management of a super soft. Forecast looks good for today, so that should be us. So let's head into this race then. We're waiting for the 2 Renaults to line up at the back of the grid to get this United States Grand Prix here in Texas underway, and they have lined up now. So we're sitting in P6 at the start of this race. We've got 5 red lights and this light's out, and we are off here in Texas. We've got a good start. We've beaten Vettel off the start up into P5. Coming up the hill into turn 1. What's going to happen? We're going to dive everyone. We've even dived Rosberg as well. We're into P1. We've just made 5 places up from the start to turn 1. And we're in P1 of the United States Grand Prix. I didn't expect that from the start. I thought I was going to get at least 4th. I didn't expect to be in 1st. So let's look at a replay of the start of this race. Nico Rosberg was on pole with Daniel Ricciardo alongside him. They got off to a good start. It seemed we got off to a great start, taking P5 from Sebastian Vettel. And then to turn 1, we just dived up the inside of everyone. Rosberg gave us a room. We forced Rosberg wide. He had a wee collision with his teammate Hamilton. There was debris flying over the curbs there. And we led all the way into this section here and into sector 1, and as you can see, the 2 Red Bulls forced each other wide there. That's not good play for them. At the end of lap 1, we're still in P1 by 3/10 over Lewis Hamilton, who has jumped his teammate in the first lap. Rosberg's got Hamilton back though, and there's been a spin. Hamilton spun out at the front. That is mad. We forced Hamilton a bit wide as we went defensive a bit. We stuck in the middle, but Hamilton spun out and he's out of the race. Championship leader Lewis Hamilton is out of the race on lap 2 of the Grand Prix. Wow, I didn't expect that. That's a big shocker here, as myself and Rosberg have built out quite a big lead coming towards the back straight. So let's look at what happened to Lewis Hamilton as he was following us towards turn 1 on lap 2. We went defensive. He tried to outbrake us and go around the outside, but instead Rosberg forced him wide. Verstappen clipped the rear tyre of Lewis Hamilton, and that sent Lewis Hamilton into the wall. And while Hamilton was spun out at turn 1, Gutierrez in P20 tried to go up the inside of Julian Palmer, who ran wide. He clipped the back of the Brit and went into the Mercedes, taking the Mercedes out, and that's unfortunate for Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen's going for a move up the inside of Rosberg into turn 1. He's made it stick and Rosberg's run wide. There's yellow flags behind. Who's that? It's Daniel Ricciardo, whose engine has blown behind us. He was turning P5. We ran wide by looking behind us, and it's a virtual safety car now. There's your virtual safety car. Heat on lap 5, just about to go on lap 6. And as we look behind us, it was Daniel Ricciardo who was on fire. His engine just blew up, and that's great for Rosberg now, as Hamilton and Ricciardo were ahead of Rosberg in the standings, and Rosberg's the only one left. And Rosberg's about 30 points behind, so Rosberg will make some big gains here from this race if he finishes, of course. Or Mercedes might have a double retirement, you never know. There's still 23 laps left of this race. Anything can happen. So as Daniel Ricciardo had closed up to my group dramatically in the last lap, he was in P5 behind P4 Kimi Räikkönen, and he just came round long right-hander and his engine blew up. Unfortunate for the Red Bull driver, who's been plagued with retirements this season, and he's out of the United States Grand Prix. Okay, so it's lap 8 and we're coming in for a set of soft compound tyres. We're switching the strategy up, we're coming in for soft instead. There we go. We give the lead to Rosberg for now, who's on a different strategy. Same as Grosjean and everyone else is about to go past us. Question, where is Verstappen? Verstappen has just set a fastest lap. Where are we going to come out in relation to Verstappen? We come out the pits up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen, and we've just come out ahead of Verstappen and Räikkönen. They pit on lap 7 and we pit, actually they pit on lap 6. They pit on lap 6 and they still didn't undercut us, probably because we're in this train. That's really good for us now. Can we get past Rio Haryanto, the Indonesian driver? But Räikkönen's looking up the inside and around the outside now. He's run wide, he's come back on and slowed Verstappen down. That's alright. Coming into the braking, we clip Haryanto, and we're past him anyway. And next up is Sergio Perez on the long back straight. Are we going to get past the Mexican? Yes, we are. Easy pass. And we're into P9. As we set the fastest lap of the race, we're catching up to the group that goes from 2nd place all the way down to 6th. And Rosberg's out the pit lane, and we're out ahead of Rosberg. So the undercut has worked, even though we were ahead of him. But we've gained more time on the German, and we're closing into Fernando Alonso and the McLaren in front. Rosberg is closing up to us, so we need to get past just at least Alonso anyway this lap. So we close a lot in this twisty section. Can we go round the outside of the Spaniard? Up the inside. We forced him to let us past, and we're up into P6 now. But Alonso is the gap between myself and Rosberg now. The engine is showing small signs of wear. That's great. Still got about half the race to go. On the back straight now, who can we get? Will we be able to get Nico Hülkenberg? Surely we can. We've opened the DRS now. He's also got DRS, so might be a bit trouble in closing and closing and closing. A wee cheeky dive. Nah, we can't do it. We can't get Hülkenberg. My teammate is in P2, Felipe Nasser. Very, very nice. Can we get up the inside of Hülkenberg? Yes, we can. Someone's got a problem with their car. I don't know who he said it was. As everyone in front is coming into the pit lane, my teammate leads them all in. And we will take P1 once again in this race. Or will we? Yes, we will. We'll take P1 once again with Rosberg in P2. We've gone a bit deep into turn 1. And that's no good. That's no good. We've gone a bit deep. Rosberg is right on the back of me now. Fantastic. There's a virtual safety car now, lap 13. I don't know why there's a virtual safety car, but there is one. Let's look at why there's a virtual safety car. As we can see from onboard from Kevin Magnussen, Felipe Massa has got a puncture on the back straight. It's lap 20 and nothing really has happened in the race. Verstappen has overtaken Rosberg, and we are coming into the pits for a set of super soft tyres. And Verstappen is following us in. He's 2.4 seconds behind us, and I think Rosberg's going into the lead now. Yes, he is. So hopefully we can catch Rosberg by the end. He's been very slow on his medium set so far, and we've come out ahead of Verstappen by a comfortable margin. Will we get ahead of this group though? And will Verstappen get ahead of this group? We've come out in P2, and Verstappen slots into P3. He just gets ahead of Romain Grosjean and Sebastian Vettel. And now we need to push now to try and catch Rosberg, because I don't believe he's stopping any more this race. So we've got 7 laps to do so. So let's go and hammer it down. End of lap 21, and the gap to Rosberg is 10.5 seconds. And the gap behind me is 1.5 seconds to Verstappen. End of lap 22, and we just set a new fastest lap, which then gets beaten by Verstappen, but we have caught up 3.3 seconds in 1 lap to Rosberg, and there's about 6 laps to go, including this lap. So we should be able to catch up to the German. Verstappen closed in on me by 5/10 on that last lap, so it's going to be a good battle. We're on the penultimate lap now, and we're all together here on the track coming down to the end of sector 1. And apparently Rosberg has front wing damage, so we're coming down the back straight now with DRS on the German. Are we going to beat him? No, we cannot. We don't have enough time on the straight to beat Rosberg. Starting the final lap just about now. As we come over the line, we are 2/10 behind Nico Rosberg, and we've got the DRS coming to turn 1. We're going to go to the inside of turn 1 of Nico Rosberg, but we've locked up. We've gone deep. We've gone deep into turn 1, and that leaves us open to Verstappen, who doesn't make a move. We pass Rosberg though, and we get repassed by him, and now we have to go after the German now in sector 1, and closing him massively to Rosberg. If we do anything, it has to be done on the back straight, as Verstappen is all over the back of me. Do we get a good exit on the back straight? Yes, we do. We're already in Rosberg's gearbox before we press the DRS button. We're in the slipstream. We pull out of the slipstream, and we're into P1 of the United States Grand Prix. All we need to do is keep it for the last sector now. with Rosberg in second and Verstappen in third position. All you have to do is keep it now as we're going a bit deep. We should be able to keep it as Rosberg's very slow and he's on very old medium tyres. Coming through. Make sure a gust of wind doesn't take me out here. I've gone a bit wide. Maybe a gust of wind did get me there, but coming down the penultimate corner. We've done it. Now coming down to the final corner of the US Grand Prix. We've taken it nicely and we've won our second race in Formula 1. That's what I'm talking about. A very, very boring race until the very end there when we all met up. But yeah, I mean the start was okay with Hamilton and Ricciardo retiring, and then the middle was very boring. Very, very boring.
Looks like they're on their way out to the podium now, and what a result this is, and what a popular one with the crowd as well. Great stuff to see the Sauber team on top here today.
So we have won our second race ever in Formula 1 by 4/10 ahead of Nico Rosberg and 6/10 ahead of Max Verstappen. Kimi Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel take up 4th and 5th position. Romain Grosjean in the Haas down in P6, that's a good result for him, starting in P11. Bottas in P7, Fernando Alonso in P8. P9 is Nico Hülkenberg and Pascal Wehrlein gets another point for Manor. My teammate Felipe Nasr finishes P13 ahead of his fellow compatriot Felipe Massa, who finished P14 after causing a virtual safety car with his puncture. Kevin Magnussen is at the back of the grid, and the two title contenders, Daniel Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton, out. And they're the only two retirements. So having a look at the driver's standings after this race, Lewis Hamilton still tops it by 16 points over his teammate Rosberg, who jumps up to 2nd from 3rd position, swapping with Daniel Ricciardo after his retirement. Myself and Raikkonen jump Valtteri Bottas and move into P4 and P5. We are unable to win the championship as we're 85 points behind with 3 races to go, but still a great result for a Sauber to be in P4 after 18 races in a season. Looking at the bottom half of the table, Romain Grosjean's P6 in that race lifts him ahead of Danny Kvyat and Nico Hülkenberg. And at the bottom of the table, Kevin Magnussen is the only driver yet to score in this season. Mercedes have wrapped up the constructors and have won after this race here in Texas. Red Bull are in 2nd, and as you can see, it's just the same as the last race. Nobody's changed positions. We're in P5 with 177 points, and that's a good season for us. Okay, so the next race is in Mexico, and we're going to get an upgrade. We're going to get an engine power upgrade for the Mexican Grand Prix, and we're also going to get some fuel efficiency, because why not? This is how our trophy room looks. With our second win of the season, we've had 6 podiums so far, which is good out of 18 races in a Sauber. Looking at the start of the season, we weren't placing that well, but now we're in the top 5. We've been in the top 5 since Germany, so that's great results for us. So the United States Grand Prix weekend is coming to an end. The next race is the Mexican Grand Prix in Mexico City. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Please leave a like and subscribe for future content of my career mode. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time.